In the last lesson, you have seen how to create a task from the front end. Here we have added a form from where we can pass a task and click on Add button and it will add a new task for us. However, we have not added any sort of form validation. So let's try to submit an empty field. So here nothing is updated in this list. However, if you go inside our backend admin panel and give it a refresh, you can see there are two tasks with no text. It's just an empty text. So in this lesson, we will talk about Django validation and we will see how we can handle this situation and let the user restrict if they are submitting any empty field. So let's get back to our editor and figure out how we can do that. Just like the model class which we have used inside our models.py file, there is another class called form which we can use to structure our forms by using that class. The first thing we will do is create a forms.py file inside our application app1. And here we will import forms from Django. And after that, we are creating a new form here by creating a class. And here we will create an input for each of our columns in the database. The first column, text, is going to be a character field. Now inside the char field method, we will pass our validation rules. Suppose let's add a max length validation rule. And also let's add a minimum length validation rule too. In addition to the validation rules, we can also pass a label here which will create an HTML equivalent label when we will render this form. Now save it and let's go inside our views.py file, and here we will update our index method to handle both get and post request. Right now it's handling a simple get request only. So here what we will do is add a condition here. And now we will import our newly created form here. And here inside the condition, we will create a new instance of this form. In this line, we are assigning form to a new instance of task form where we have passed the post request, and now we can call the isValid method on our instance. And if the form is valid, we will just go ahead into our store method and copy everything from here and place it inside this block. If the request method is not post, then in that case, we will just simply get all the tasks from the database and render the view. Along with this time we will pass another variable called form, where we will create an instance of our task form. But this time we will not pass anything inside. In order to pass our form to the view, we have added it inside the context of render method. Now save it and let's open our index.html template. Here we will get rid of this file, this input, and instead of that we will add here inside the double curly braces we have added form.text.errors. If there is any errors related to the field text, then in that case it will grab all the errors and display it here. If you have added any level tag to the input text, then in that case we can display it over here. It will create an equivalent HTML tag called level and display the level we have added inside our forms.py file. And finally we will add an input here, which we can add by just adding form.text. Now before saving it, we need to change the URL and set it to index. Now save it and we are ready to give it a try. Here is the output. Let's inspect it. Here we have changed the form action and now you can see the input. The validation rules we have added inside the forms.py file are reflecting here. The max length, min length properties as well as required is added here. However, I can't see level here. Let's get back to our editor. Okay, there was one mistake. We need to change it to tag, level tag. Now save it and get back. And here it is. You can see the level here. Now let's try to add an empty value. Here you see it's showing that please fill out this field. Now let's try to add something. Now it's showing that please lengthen this text to 5 characters or more, as we have set here the minimum length to be 5. So this is how validation works in Django. Now if the user does not meet the requirement set by the form validation, then in that case the form will not be submitted. This way we can prevent false data to be entered in our database.